Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're looking at the Soosoo Toys Cajun card dealer, aka Gambit from the Xmen. I've been really looking forward to this one. When Sideshow announced that they were doing a Gambit, Soosoo Toys then sort of dropped one as well, and it was almost like the battle of the bands. It was like, oh my god. And I have to say, between the promo pics of the Sideshow one and the Soosoo Toys one, the Soosoo Toys one won by a mile. So the second I saw it come up for pre-order, I put my money down because I was like, hell yeah, this is definitely a figure I want in my collection. As you can see, there's a lovely bit of artwork on the front there, and I've been very careful with the wording. Just says Cajun card dealer, and up in this corner here it says limited edition. Now supposedly they only made 450 of this figure, and they're now claiming that it is limited edition. So all I can say is, Soosoo, please stick to that. If you're going to turn around and say this is limited edition, we're only making 450, then stick to it. I know you're doing a reissue of your Herman figure, so I know that you're more than happy to do reissues whenever something turns out to be popular and people want it. However, when you're claiming something is completely limited edition and it's only a set amount being made, please stick to it, because if you do a reissue of this guy, you're going to start angering the customer base, and that's when you're going to start getting a bit sticky and running into trouble. But anyway, here on the side you just got Cajun card dealer, Soosoo Toys logo, lots of warning and notices on the back, lovely little bit of background artwork there. I do love this slightly pinkish hue to the whole box. And then up the top, I bet you it's going to say Cajun card dealer. Yep. What's it going to say on the bottom? Drum roll please. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Cajun card dealer. Yep, that's it. And inside you just get this lovely artwork on a card slip sleeve. And if we pull this off, inside you can see the figure, the hands, and lots of the effects, and there's another layer underneath. Okay, let's just unbox this guy and get him out and have a look at him. Okay, and here he is just straight out of the box, and as you can see, he comes with quite a bit. He comes with a whole bunch of cards on a card, and the cards look really good. You can pop these out and you know, have him posed with them. I think you can also take these and stick them onto his effects here, which will look really good. I think you can see these are sort of like little clear translucent cards all the way through, and show his Xmen mutant abilities. And then he's also got this one here, and it's obviously, like you can see at the bottom here, there is a hand, and then this swooshes along and he's throwing multiple cards at the same time. And look at that lovely magenta color flowing all the way through. Oh my god, it's lovely and transparent. It looks really, really good, honestly. These are very impressive. You can see that these Gambit, a lot of these Gambit figures take inspiration from probably one or two places. A lot of them come with like this sort of effect, like from the Mezco to the Marvel Legends to the actual Sideshow version. It's so bright, such a rich colour in these. It's just really good. And he also comes with more hands than you could ever possibly want, including fisted gloved hands. You can see there's actual speckling in the hand as well, so it makes it look a bit more realistic. He has card holding hands, expressive action hands, and he also comes with the exact same again, but in a sort of like a magenta translucent sort of work, and then they've sort of used a tiny bit of black to go around the edges to try and make it look like it's transitioning from a real hand into his psychic powers hand. I think these are so cool. Sideshow did the same thing and they work really well. He comes with 20 hands, which I think is the right amount of hands for any figure, to be honest. And he also comes with this really cool looking futuristic bow staff. It's plastic, not die cast, which I'm very happy for, because it means that he's going to be able to hold this and confidently you can pose him around with it without it putting stress on the wrist pegs. And he also comes with an extra hairpiece, which is the hairpiece that everybody's going to pose him with. Let's be honest here. The occasional rare person might use this hair, but let's be honest, we're going to use this. Just coming down and look at that face sculpt. It's just blowing me away. My only criticism is that there's a tiny sort of like overlap of the skin tone around the face mask, and it's not super clean. There's a little bit of a lump or a lip. I can't even describe it, but if you look at it from certain angles, it shows up more than others. Like I don't really see it there, but straight on you start to see it a little bit more, where the sculpting for the face mask overlaps on the face and the flesh tone sort of goes onto the face mask at a tiny fraction amount. It's not a big deal, but I think it's the best they could have done, considering what they had to paint. And look at those eyes. Those red eyes are so awesome. And if you gave me a choice between this one and the Sideshow one, this one wins every day. The Sideshow one with his really big sort of sticky out ears. I think this guy looks way sort of more comic book accurate, and he looks way more heroic and cool. And then come down into the body, you can see he's got this torso piece that really does look like the sort of thing that Gambit has worn in multiple comics and cartoons. And it's got like nice shading all the way through the muscles to accentuate them a bit more. The only problem with this is that it basically means there's not really any torso articulation, which is a bit of a shame, but then it's to be expected with Gambit. There aren't many companies that have been able to actually get that torso to pose very well. Even Mezco had to make one piece to actually put on there. He's got this sort of very plastic, I don't know what it is, maybe it's a pleather, something like that, kind of suit underneath. It feels pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's something that would wear over time, but you never know. And he's got all these lovely like sort of magenta panels all the way down, and I have to say they feel like they've been stuck on one by one. I don't know, there could be some sort of printing involved, but you want to be careful of those. I reckon they could raise off over the years. As the glue gets tired, some of these could raise up at the edges or something, so just keep an eye on them and be very careful when posing them around. The stitching is very fine on the inside of the leg, and then coming down into these boots, you can see he has these really sort of nice boots with a split cut, so you can actually still get ankle pivot in there. And then of course we've got the coat that looks worn, weathered, and very nice. Now I have to say, I think I prefer the Sideshow one just for longevity. That thing will just last the test of time, but as we all know with pleather, this stuff rots, and over the years it becomes tired, it starts to flake, it falls apart, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of Gambits running around with no coats. So yeah, I'm hoping somebody can actually make like a third-party long brown coat like this, made out of fabric rather than pleather, because I'll definitely buy that to replace this one, so that I can always have this guy forever on the shelf without any real fear of it degrading over time. Here he is with that other hairpiece on, and yeah, this looks so cool. This is one of my favourite X-Men characters, so I'm really glad to have a really nice high quality version of him in the collection. Articulation wise, his head can spin all the way around. You can look up about that far, and you can look down about that far, and he has full 360-degree swivel if you so wish. His arms go up to about that level, but then they get restricted by the suit and get pulled back down. His arms can go forward that much, and his arms can go back much further than you would expect. There is a bicep swivel, there is a double bend in the arms, and the hands are on wrist pegs. Again, no torso articulation really. His waist can turn a little bit, but it sort of springs back because of the suit. His legs can go out about that far. There is thigh swivel. The legs can go up about that much before they return. There's a double bend in the knees so you can get 90 degrees. And again, you can push this boots up a little bit and get a generous amount of ankle pivot. Oh, and before I forget, his coat does actually have a wire in it, so you can pose it around and flex it so you can get better articulation through the action poses. And I have to say that posing this guy around is really fun. I mean, the effects actually make it super easy to get this guy into a really cool looking pose. It's not that hard. Some figures you could be messing around for hours just trying to get a semi-cool looking pose or just some sort of natural looking pose. But this guy is actually super easy and he is so much fun to pose around with. I really like the effects they've given him. They're nice and bright and shiny, and under a light they actually glow a little bit as well, so that's even better. Yeah, this is becoming a staunch favourite in my collection already. It could just be the new figure buzz, maybe, but honestly at the moment I am super impressed with this guy. Absolutely loving it. Man, this guy's absolutely boss. Yeah, I'm super happy I picked this guy up. It's just, there is enough articulation I can get some poses out of him. It would have been nice if it actually designed some sort of mechanism where you could actually get some more torso articulation. You can get him into some decent action poses. So he is going to impress on the shelf, he really is. People are going to walk past and go, my God, that looks awesome. But if I could do, I would happily swap this coat out for something a bit more fabric. so that he can just last forever on my shelf. And just to finalise, he does come with the Soosoo Toys stand, but instead of like with, I think Herman got the Watchmen logo, he's got the Xmen logo. It's very nice and shiny. It actually looks really metal. Very cool. And he's got like his sort of magenta colour sort of sprayed onto the base a little bit to just really accentuate and complement the figure. And he also has a big nice metal flight pole that can be bended about with a waist grabber that you can tighten up and get him into sort of like jumping flight poses. Now, something I've done recently with a couple of my videos is, what could Soosoo Toys have done better to improve the figure? Well, quite simply put, they could have actually done some sort of articulation piece or separated the body torso armor into two so that you could get some sort of rocking thing going on and get some pivot so he can sort of like have a bit more articulation in that torso. They could have also focused on maybe changing out the coat from pleather to a fabric one. They could have also given us some sort of just plain clear magenta plastic cards, very much like the Marvel Legends one here. You know, just like he's charging them up and then he's about to throw them. And maybe even a replacement stem for the stand so he can be just like a crotch grabber rather than a flight pole, because it does take up a lot of space and can be quite tall. But other than that, he comes with everything I would hope for. Now, apparently, we might see his wife in the very near future. They were saying that maybe there's a rogue on the horizon, but at the moment that's just an idea that they have. It's not actually realized yet, so we haven't seen any sort of like teasers or sort of promos of that actual figure yet, so it may never come to pass. But yeah, they've already intimated that their intentions are to make a rogue to go with Gambit, and depending on how it goes, yeah, I may end up getting more of these in the collection. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, I'm going to go play with this guy a bit more and get some more poses out of him. He is just so much fun. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.